fam, when you're the French captain. I added him on Twitter, fam. I said, where's the disrespect, fam? You know them way there. And then I saw your dance moves to the song around the stadium, and I realized why you was at the end of the song, fam. Do you know, like, that's just not good enough, blood. And now I'm getting cooked. Everyone's on their world tours, blood. You got the walking Malteser, the Jamaican Zordon, the fast food Lukaku, blood. You got Jaden Sandwich and Buckwheat, blood. You know them way there, fam. You got flipping Flowers, blood.
Who's Flowers?
Terry sucking off Arsenal every
just no
chance he gets on Twitter, blood. You know them with Terry Analytics Flowers, blood. Terry ad revenue Flowers, bro.
I was sent this and so I was like, Terry, X is calling you out hard. He's going in hard. This is jokes. Keep it coming, brother. Keep it coming, depressions.
You know them way there, fam. Nah, big man thing. Oh, I'm Manchester United. Glazers out. What do you mean? Glazers out? You should be talking about Edu out, blood. You're the wrong team. What are you talking about? Man sucking off Arsenal for the mostest, blood. Do you know them way there, fam? I'm telling you, bro. Everyone's having their world tour.
Listen, X. Honestly, by the way, everyone, subscribe to his channel. Link in the description below. This man is a legend of the game. You can't get away from it. And I know he's hurting because Tottenham right now are playing poorly. They were outplayed and battered in the game by Chelsea, battered by Arsenal, battered by Man United, battered by Newcastle. Every good team they play destroys them. The football's boring. I think they know it's slipping away. Son's asking to leave. The manager's crumbling. One of the most talented right-backs in the country is being sent out on loan because your manager doesn't rate him. It's peak right now. It's peak right now for Tottenham. That's one side of it. The other element, let's have it right, expressions. You know as well as I do. I'm not sucking off Arsenal. Right? I am just speaking facts. They're brilliant right now, and we're a little bit jealous, bruv, of Arsenal.
Expressions oozing's expense, and it's fine, fam. I'm telling you, I'm out here marking cards, blood. No, I swear down, Ranceroni,
bro.
I'm out here marking. No, I'm marking cards.
Rance just wants to burst out laughing.
I'm marking cards. That's fine. You lot have your fun. It's absolutely fine, innit?
I will.
Blood. You get me, fam? Trust me, every dog has its day, blood. This has been coming for man. Do you know them way there?
Of course. It's what I'm going to say, though, about expressions. Like, it is all love. For me, you know, he's in that top 5 range GOATs in this industry. Big up for the shout out, my guy. And it's Flowers, by the way, but it's cool. Flowers. You know, it is what it is. But I stand by what I say. I do think there is a lot of frustration from people when it comes to the way their team's performing, especially when Arsenal were a rival. If you're a Spurs fan, they're your biggest rivals. And it must be painful for Tottenham fans because the sort of 2015 period until now, every season, up until this moment, they've been better than Arsenal in the Premier League. I think they've finished above them every year in that period. Maybe one year they didn't, but pretty much they've been better than them. They had the Poch era, which got to a point where they were in title races. They got to a Champions League final. They had Harry Kane, one of the best finishers the Premier League has ever seen. And I think Spurs fans thought the power shift is here. It must hurt so bad. The pain must be so deep. The end of your golden period. No trophies. In fact, Arsenal won 2 or 3 trophies in that period. And now at the end of it, Arsenal could be in a title race. Arsenal could win the league. Arsenal are better than you. And you've got nothing to show for that. The pain's there, and I get it. And there are still people out there doubting Arsenal as well. As we've seen from a number of these tweets we're going to put up here. People still trying to find something to dig Arsenal out for. And a lot of the time, at the moment, it's Gabriel Jesus. Gabriel Jesus is the most overrated player in the Premier League, according here to man like Dom Sam. And it's just kind of a little bit of a weird take for me in many ways, but he isn't the only person here. You see this individual, Jesus, is so overrated by Arsenal fans. Soon you will realize that he isn't that good. Jesus is the most overrated being that the world has overrated being that the world has ever seen. Not even footballer. Man that's out here saying overrated being, like overrated human being. You've got this here, 5 goals in 14, 5 goals in 12. Obviously comparing him to Darwin Núñez, blah, 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 blah. There is a lot of the comparisons to Darwin Núñez. He's overrated. He's overrated. He's overrated. And it isn't just that. People are calling him out for this as well.
Who am I looking for?
Deep into his WhatsApp group. Look,
Can't even find the one I'm looking for right now.
Oh, he's got paperwork.
Yeah. Stats are only useful when it suits you.
Correct. That's how we work it. So, apparently, the best signing of the season behind Haaland, laughable. 5 goals in 1,000 minutes. Jesus. 5 goals in 573 minutes for Núñez. Flop of the season.
I don't think he's a.
Jesus is also.
Give me a flop or what was it? Top or flop?
Top or flop.
Well, I'm going to lean on the side of flop. I don't think he's been an outright flop. I'm just going to lean on that side.
The narrative at the moment is Jesus has been amazing and Núñez has been terrible.
I think what is.
And we're going to come back. We're going to come back to what Houston said there a little bit later. You got this on the Anfield wrap.
Paddy is about to become an Arsenal player. Looks like everything's in place.
Overrated. Hasn't scored over 14 goals in a Premier League season. People are overhyping him. It's absolutely insane. I think it's a decent bit of business for Arsenal because there's not a plethora of world-class attackers, but he is senior average.
Not win the game because they lack clinical edge. Gabriel Jesus, and I'm going to say this before leaving, so, I can just say it and dip. There's the brilliance, the smartness from me right here. Gabriel Jesus is genuinely overrated. This is my honest
disagree.
opinion.
I have to
Gabriel Jesus.
Gal, can I take this segment before you go, please?
And you can watch all these shows. We've got all the links to them. Obviously, Anfield Agenda, Rio Ferdinand Show and Vibes, and of course, Expression stuff all below, and our very own Top 6 show. He's kind of being called out now, Gabriel Jesus, for being overrated. This isn't a new thing. The clip from Anfield Agenda was in the summer. You've got what the Houston has said there with Rio. And of course, Dom Hussam calling him out. Lots of people tweeting about it. And you just Google Gabriel Jesus overrated. You're talking hundreds and hundreds of tweets, and it's picking up pace. And this is the way of kind of digging at Arsenal. But it's such flawed logic. It's such flawed logic because they're just focusing on the goals. Only 5 goals in 11 Premier League games. Only 5 goals in 14 games in all competitions. Now, everybody knows that he's not the most prolific goal scorer in the world. If we're going to get pernickety, if we're going to get kind of pernickety about things, 5 goals divided by 11, times that by 38, he's tracking towards 17 league goals, which is good. Okay. Bearing in mind, Michael Owen was looked at as a world-class striker and had never once scored more than 20 league goals in the season. So take that what you will. But you're forgetting that he's also created 5 goals this season. The guy in an Arsenal shirt has an 81% efficiency. So we're going on stats here because you're using stats to put him down. Okay? Purely on stats. Purely on stats. Gabriel Jesus, okay, purely on statistics, in 81% of his games for Arsenal is scoring or creating goals. 81%. That is phenomenal. That is world-class outputs. Facts, period. You can't argue back now because you're just comparing his stats to Núñez, saying he's an overrated player. Then you've also got to look at, and I'm going to use the Bruno Fernandes syndrome here. The Bruno Fernandes derangement syndrome. What else does he do when he isn't scoring or assisting? Has he really moved the needle? Has he really pushed the envelope? How much has he improved his team? Arsenal have gone from being 8th, and 5th, written off as top 4 contenders. The manager being a cone boy, a cone man. Cone boy sounds even worse for Pep. To being top of the league, the best performing team in the league, flying high and embarrassing every pundit on planet Earth. And Gabriel Jesus, his performances have been one of the major catalysts behind this. He's pressing, his hold-up play, his dribbling ability, his ability to stretch the play, drifting out to the left, drifting out to the right. He runs in behind. The work rate, on top of his ability, his creativity, and then his outputs, which are by themselves world-class. You get a player like Haaland that's called a tap-in merchant because he does everything else. And then the same very people are calling Gabriel Jesus a flop because he's only scored 5 goals. But they ignore the assists, they ignore the creativity, they ignore the hold-up play, the dribbling, the pressing, the pulling away of defenders. They ignore all the other elements. They say, well, Haaland doesn't have it. He ain't very good. And they take that away from Jesus. And this is why I go back to what I said about X at the beginning. Spurs fans are most angry right now, one, because their team is failing. Even though they've had a great start to the season, I think they know what's going to happen. They're going to slowly drop to that 5th or 6th position, and it's going to feel very underwhelming again. Harry Kane could leave. Same old Tottenham. Everybody else just can't wait to hate on Arsenal. And I've been saying it for weeks. It's just boring now. Imagine calling one of the most productive strikers in the Premier League, who has moved his team from 5th to 1st, who has been sensational in all but a couple of games, and he's allowed to have a couple of games where he isn't at his best, overrated. And using the very things that you beat the Haalands and Bruno Fernandes over the head with, ignoring the things that you beat the Bruno Fernandes and the Haalands over the head with, and ignoring that within his play. And then going and using the same very things you say don't make Bruno and Haaland very good players. Mo Salah, these men are out here, barring Hussam, saying Mo Salah's not even a good footballer. Stats don't mean anything. And when it comes to Jesus, stats mean everything. It is a madness out here. It's a madness out here. But as we know, they are scared of Arsenal. They are fearful of Arsenal. They are intimidated by Arsenal. And they can't get themselves away from it. Just admit it. Get out of the denial curve. Admit it. Accept it. Jesus is a brilliant signing. Jesus is a brilliant player. Arsenal right now are a brilliant team, and they've got levels to go up. And at the moment, they're better than Tottenham. They're better than Liverpool. Stop the hate, accept it, and maybe focus a bit more attention on your own teams. And that's why we'll shout out X, by the way. He does do that in a lot of ways. Listen, people, hit the like and the share button. Subscribe to the Footy Terrace. We'll see you all soon. Thank you.